Hey everyone, I wanted to do this particular video because I don't know if you've ever had a situation like I just had a situation where I headed out to handle some business and try and open up a business account for one of my businesses. And I have been trying to open a business account for this business for a minute. And so the first time that I started to actually open a business account was actually last year. And I had formed my LLC, and then I had gotten an EIN number, but for some reason, the IRS did not send me the EIN letter, that you need. So I went to my personal bank and I tried to open it, and they were like, well, we need this letter. And it literally took until January of this year for me to finally get that letter. I had called there. They said they were sending it out. I spoke with the IRS. They were really good about it, but I never got the letter. And so this year I just had them fax it to me. I talked with the IRS representative. She was very sweet about it. And they faxed it to me right on the spot. But it's been months, right? So I was like, I finally got this letter. So much time has passed. Now I can open up my business bank account. Not so. So I proceeded to go online and to try and, before I went online, I went to my personal bank and I tried to set up an account, brought all my paperwork in, and I couldn't actually open it up. And the reason being is, I'm sorry, you guys, I got my engine on, so you guys might hear a little bit of air and stuff. Let me turn it off. But I could not set up the appointment because they were like, the person that you need to see is not here right now. So I came back later and I tried to do it again. And they were like, well, the bank manager is the one that's going to have to actually do it. And he's really, really busy. So let me put you on his schedule. So they like put me on his schedule and said that he will give you a call. And they even told me to pick like 2 slots that I was available. So that if he's not available for one, then they'll have the other slot. And so that I would get contacted. So either via a phone call to come in, or I would get an email. I didn't get either. So they never reached back out to me about that. So I was like, maybe that's a sign from the Lord that this is not where I need to have this business account at. So I proceeded then to go online, and I'm like, I'm going to try Nova because I've been researching like different business bank accounts for small businesses. That was a good, opportunity for you to open your account. And I went through all the process with them, and they were like, sorry, to inform you, we're unable to open your account at this time. So I'm like, what is going on? So, so some more time passed, and I start researching again, looking into other banks. And I'm trying to decide if I want to do like a credit union, try and do a major bank or one of the big branches or whatever. So I decided, well, I keep hearing about, Capital One. Let me go to Capital One. So I did that today, went to Capital One. I called the bank first. They told me what I needed. I went down there, sat with a banker. He looked over all of my paperwork because I have all of my paperwork. I brought in my passport. I brought in my ID, and he said, everything looks good. He said, but everything, of course, is automated now. So I'm going to log you in, and you are going to try and open your account through through the tablet. So he did whatever he had to do. And then he brought up for me to go in and put my personal information in and kind of walked me through the process of that. And he said, and I'd already asked, is this going to be like, where it's going to take some time, some days, or will I know immediately? He said, well, hopefully they'll let you know right away that you got approved. And if not, they may need a document or 2. He said, that's why I check over the documents to make sure everything's in order. He said, everything looks in order. So I'm like feeling pretty good about this, right? So I go through the whole process, and then we hit the submit button, and guess what? they were like, we are unable to open you a business account. So he just advises me to wait for the email, because I'm like, well, how can I find out why I'm getting turned down from getting a business bank account, And so, and I don't know if it's possibly because I do utilize a UPS store address for my business address. I don't know, but I actually did use my home address. He advised me to put your home address on there if you're going to be basically doing business out of your home. And so I followed the instructions of the banker. So I didn't get approved. So as I'm driving, I get in my car and I'm like, Lord, I do personally believe that sometimes a no, it can be a blessing. So sometimes there's things that we want and we want it and we think that it's the right thing, but the door won't open for it because it's actually not for you. So I went out of there with the attitude of that this is probably not where I'm supposed to do my business banking at. I'm not sure where God is saying where I should do it from, but still, it still feels like rejection. It still feels like a no. I mean, we got to be real. After a while, you're like, wait a minute, how come I keep getting rejections and I'm trying to do something that I know I need to do? So I was just like, okay, Lord, I need you to give me some peace about this, because I'm really trying to open this so I can start some other things in this particular area. And, I can't do it if I don't have a bank account tied to this EIN number, right? And I don't want to flow things through my personal account. So the Lord gave me the scripture. So in Philippians 4, I think like verse 4-7, it talks about always having like the joy of the Lord. And even allowing people to see your consideration in all that you do. And it talks about not worrying about anything, right? And to pray about everything, right? And then the scripture says, and then you will have your peace. And so I'm like, okay, so I need to really be at a place of joy and rejoicing over this situation that feels like rejection, that feels like a no that I shouldn't have got, and that does not feel good to my flesh. But in the spirit, I don't know what's going on. So I need to be grateful that I didn't open that account, because that probably was not for me. And God may have something even greater for me. So I want to encourage you that if you're dealing with something and it just seems like no matter how hard you're trying, you keep getting a rejection, you keep getting a no, things are not opening up for you, and you're really feeling some kind of way about it, I want to encourage you to read Philippians 4, verse 4-8, and to begin to thank God for all that he's already done, as that scripture says. Thank him for what he's already done. Thank him that you have your right mind. Thank you that you have great ideals. Thank him that you're alive and you have your health, and that you have people around you that care for you. And if none of those things apply, thank him for being him, for loving you. And don't be discouraged, but I hope that this word encourages you that sometimes a no can be a blessing. So truth be told, even though it didn't feel good to go through that and spend all that time doing that and trying to set that up and it not coming through, I'm grateful to God that it didn't happen, because if it was for me, the door would have opened. What's for you is for you. God bless you.